And this one's particularly apt, I suppose. Why do you need video content? Brilliant. I'll put my phone on silent. Thank you very much, Christian. I'll call you back in half an hour. I tell you, it's live, isn't it? It's live. Just so you know, it's not pre-recorded, and I haven't sort of. And maybe that'll be something we talk about today. Like, does it need to be completely and utterly polished? If if you're producing a Louis Vuitton video, then yeah, it does need to be highly polished. If you're Miles from Miles Marketing and you're trying to get across what you know about video content on a LinkedIn Live when 3 people are watching, then maybe not so polished, right? I love you all out there. Oh, and someone's been commenting in the chat. Danny is looking forward to this one. Danny, thank you so much indeed for joining me, sir. I will try and make it worth your while. Now, I will be looking down from time to time because I have made some notes, and I have actually, I've made some stats, or I've been looking on the internet for some nice factual stats about video content and why you should use it. So as you know, we jump on here every Tuesday. I'm going to get cracking now in a second, but I would like to draw your attention to next month's special guest. It's on the 9th of August, and the very lovely Claire Midwood is joining us to talk about leadership. Now, I've known Claire for years, and we worked together back in the 1990s for Adidas UK. Claire will tell you all about her career, but she had a glistening career at Adidas, and she launched, and I think conceptually, she drove the Adidas Neo brand to market. And after, I think she might have been there about 20 years, she then moved on to Apple, where she looked after some big global department looking after channel marketing, I think. And then she went on to work for an adult product brand in Germany. So if that hasn't piqued your interest to tune in on the 9th at 12:30, then I don't know what will. I tell you what, she is a fantastic leader, and she is going to share her hints and tips about what makes a great leader. So put that in the diary, tune in for that one. Right, let's dive into it. Why do you need video? Well, first of all, you're watching me, right, on video. So think about that. The old phrase, a picture paints 1,000 words. Well, I'm not sure that there's a phrase about video, but it's got to be 1,000,000 words, right? You can get across so much more in a video than you can with the written word. Now, let me give you some stats about and I've tried to find wherever I can proof to back this up. But from some research carried out in 2019, so a couple of years ago, 84 minutes a day is the average consumption of internet users of video. 84 minutes a day, average video consumption. Just think about that. In 2022, it's predicted that that will rise to 100 minutes of video watching, and you are contributing to that number right now. In 2020, 96% of consumers 96% of consumers consumed video online, right? I mean, 96% of internet users consume video. Think about that one. 9 out of 10 say that they wanted more video from brands or businesses. All right, so everybody is asking for video footage out there. Now, Cisco did some research, and they said that video made up 82% of all internet traffic, and there had been a 15% increase since 2007. So it is getting more and more and more. And according to Statista in 2020, 83.3% of internet users in the USA consumed video content. Now, look, let's face it, right? There is a number of things that drive video content online. There's the adult entertainment industry, which seems to be very video led, whereas when I was young, it was very much a paper-based product. But, well, it's an adult show, right? But let's not forget YouTube. Video content for the younger generation on YouTube is exponential. When you talk to young people now, they don't watch TV. They consume all of their video content, if you like, through the likes of YouTube. I mention them because obviously they are one of the biggest. 78% watch video once a week. And 55% of internet users, this is according to Social Media Weekly, 55% of internet users watch video every single day. Okay, so half of the internet users are watching video on a daily basis. I'm getting to the end of the stats here, but look, the stats are important. You've come on to listen to why do you need video content, and I'm telling you why. And 72% say that they would rather learn about a product via a video over the written word. 84% from an opt-in Monster survey. This is obscure sides of the internet here. 84% say that they were convinced to buy a product or a service because they'd watched a video. 84% were convinced to buy a product because they watched a video. And here's another one. All right, from Insvia, their market research said that viewers retained 95% of the information given to them via a video versus just 10% reading the same information. I mean, we're quite visual people, right? So especially when it comes to explaining sort of complex things or how things work, like, you know, to explain it in words, you have to use your imagination. But when you can show people with video, right, it's very, very powerful. So let me just talk about some of the reasons as to why, and if you're sort of taking notes. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. I will do my very best to answer them for you. I appreciate this is more of a sort of me giving out some information rather than you asking questions. But if you've got questions, please ask away, because I do produce a decent amount of video. So one of the reasons why you would use video within your marketing mix or your sales mix is that it boosts conversion rates. And I've looked at a number of different surveys. Between 74 and 84% say that they bought after watching an explainer video, right? A sort of a how-to. 74 to 84. I mean, these are not like 20 or 30%. This is nearly all of your audience are being converted after watching an explainer video, right? Have you got a website where you offer a product? Have you put an explainer video on there? If you haven't, I think you're missing a trick. It is good value for money. I mean, look, what has this cost me today? Well, a couple of quid to design a little frieze, if you like, with the subject matter on, a very cheap light from Amazon, and the webcam from my computer, right? Apart from all of the Botox and the professional makeup that I've had to have done for this, it's cost me very, very little, all right, to produce this today. So it is good value for money. You can spend a lot on high production stuff. You can have professional teams in, but for your average SME who perhaps isn't selling a very high-end product or service, then doing it yourself is very acceptable. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to make it sort of down market, but just being yourself. You can use your phone these days. You don't have to have fancy kit, right? You don't have to have 3 different sets of box lighting. You don't have to have the best microphone in the world or the finest HD camera. You can just use your phone. You can pick it up, you can put it in a little holder, try and keep it steady, and you can go ahead and shoot away. A lot of enterprise companies, being a videographer, a full-time videographer, is now part of the mandate. Yeah. If you are producing a decent amount of content, then I would challenge you to employ someone specifically to film the footage and then do the editing in-house. Yeah. From the stats that I've just read to you, can you afford not to, as it were? I did actually read something the other day as well that suggested that maybe you should think about your business as a multimedia business first and foremost, rather than what it is that you actually produce. Because if you want that sort of inbound traffic to find you on the internet, then producing lots of content, multimedia content, is what you need to do. You can't sit back on your laurels, okay? In order for people to find you organically, which is, you know, what we all want, you've got to put some content out there for people to actually find you. So that's one of the reasons why you need video in your life. Now, a couple little tips here. Shoot what's called long form video. And this today is an example of long form video. So I'm recording this today and I will save it down and I'll put it onto YouTube and then I'll share it onto my website, right? But if I'm canny about it, I can think about delivering this in bite-sized chunks that will allow me to edit it into useful little sound bites. That might be a little 30-second clip that I can use on social media, within a blog, on my website. You get the idea? So you film it once and you cut it down. This will be like a 20-minute, 25-minute video in a couple of minute chunks. I could have like quite a bit of content that just comes out of this video alone. So think about shooting long form. You can also either do it yourself, but transcribe the audio and create a blog. Or there are companies on the internet where you can send them your video. They will send you a text translation. What I'd always urge you to do as well is when you are doing your edit to put some captions across the screen because a lot of people who watch video within a work environment or on the train, perhaps they're not listening to the audio. So maybe you need, if you're being specific, to put a description, a text description on the screen. So yeah, so when you think about producing something, think about producing it in long form, which allows you then to chunk it down into smaller bits for website, blogs, vlogs, socials. Yeah, good job. I got my notes. Right. The other tip is to shoot in 16:9, or as you call it, landscape, that way rather than that way. So when you shoot all of your video, shoot it like this, not like this. I know it's sort of instinctive to shoot it like this, but if you do that, you will get the curtains either side. All right. It's 4:3 then. All right. That can be fine for some platforms, but what I'd say is that if you shoot it landscape or 16:9, you're always able to then shrink it down to be 4:3 safe, if you get my drift. All right, so shoot things like that, not like that, and then that will mean that you fill the screen and you don't find those black curtains appear on your footage. Another reason why you need content in your life is to sort of build authority, and this video is an example of that. Why do I show up every week and why do I share what I know about a subject? Well, I'm trying to put it out there that maybe I know a thing or two about marketing. Danny, stay out of the chat. But it's about sharing your expertise and your experience with your audience. And what I can tell you is this. Oh, there's 4 people watching. Now you might think, Miles, why are you doing something for 4 people? Well, it's not just about the people that are watching this live now. It's about the opportunity for my network and my extended network to watch this on catch up later. Now, some people watch it and they leave a nice little kind message, and that's lovely. It knows that it lets me know that they've watched it. But the amount of people that I speak to on a weekly basis that say, "Oh, Miles, I saw your webinar the other day." Now, I've got no idea that they've seen it. I don't get any stats to say that someone watched it. But what I would say to you is don't be put off by, say, low numbers that watch a live. Get out there, do it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for the sort of the vanity numbers. And please be assured that people are watching. Okay. But you need to turn up and consistently record your stuff and put it out there. It's like all types of social media content, if you like. You do need to be consistent, and you can't just post one thing and expect it to blow up and go viral. You have to keep producing quality content constantly, regardless of how many people are watching you or the stats say they're watching you. Believe me, they're watching. So you build your trust by showing up and producing quality stuff. Another reason to use video content is SEO, search engine optimization. Now, I know that perhaps you may think that this is something which is specifically text related, and I'm going to tell you that it is in a way. So first of all, Google or search engines love video, right? We've just been talking about how popular video is. And when something is popular, Google want to provide you with the most popular content so that you're going to be pleased with what it suggested for your search. So I did see a stat that said, and this is from Movely, they said that you're 53 times more likely to show up in the first tranche of the Google search with a video. All right, so it is prioritizing video. Now, that's not to say just putting any old video will get you up there. You do need to think about the SEO. So think about the title and make it descriptive. I would stay away from clickbait. Don't make it a sexy title and then you open it up and you see Miles talking about why you need video content in your life, right? You're going to turn off straight away. You're not going to have the watch time, right? But be descriptive, be accurate. The more accurate you are about what it is that you're talking about, the more people are going to find you through the search. In terms of the description, make sure you do a full description. Some platforms allow you even to use hashtags. So when people are using hashtags, they can find you. Think about YouTube being a search engine. It is a search engine. Think about YouTube being owned by Google. All right, they're going to promote their platform. There we go. Optimize your videos for search engine optimization. I'm going to throw something in here. I talked about YouTube and hosting videos. Now, personally, I host videos on my website in YouTube. I do this because I believe that Google are going to be more favorable to me hosting things from YouTube. One of the drawbacks, though, with hosting a video on YouTube is that you get those sort of suggested or adverts that come up after the video is finished, and it doesn't look the best. Perhaps it looks a little bit amateur. So the other option that is out there, or there are other platforms, right? But one of the most popular options that are out there is Vimeo. And on Vimeo, you don't get those suggestions, or certainly on Vimeo Pro, you don't get those suggestions that come up. So look into the platforms, see which one suits you best. Make sure you're optimizing that. Right. Video is also key to getting mobile users engaged. All right, about 90% of internet users are watching their videos on their phone or on their devices. So again, it's convenience. I've said I'll skip ahead here. I've said why do we need video content? Because people are lazy, right? People are lazy. So give them the lazy answer, right? People would far prefer to watch a video to understand how something works than to read something. Oh, I can't be bothered to read it, but the majority of people can be bothered to watch something to learn how it happens. And another stat here: smartphone. Get me words out. Smartphone viewers are 1.4 times more likely to watch an ad or to pay to watch branded content online. So when you're thinking about, I suppose it makes sense, right? We move away from watching adverts on TV, but we still like adverts, right? And you're not. They don't interrupt you as much, or maybe as regular in an online setting as they do perhaps, and you can't fast forward them in a lot of cases. Certainly within games and stuff, you get shown a video, you have to at least watch it, or it has to play out before you can continue watching or playing that game. Versus when you are on TV, some of the catch-up channels, they do force you to watch when you're watching live, but with things like Sky Plus and whatever, you can fast forward through the adverts. So people are consuming paid for advertising there. So think about if you've got a complex product or service, video is a really great way of getting across the complexities of the task in hand versus the written word. So, and the other thing I'd say to you as well is, don't think that you have to be in front of the camera, right? I like being in front of the camera, right? But I'm comfortable being in front of the camera. Other people aren't, and that's fine. So you can think about doing something a little bit differently, where perhaps you could do an audio commentary whilst pointing the camera at the subject that you're talking about. You might pay a professional to be a professional presenter to present your product or service, or you might indeed use a professional voiceover. All of these things are options for you when you're creating video content. Don't think that you have to be the star of the show. However, what I would say is that for the majority of personal services, you are the show, you are the brand. So maybe force yourself into trying to be comfortable being on camera, especially like in a professional service fashion. People are able to, I'm going to tentatively say this, like get to know you. They can consume your content through your website or through your social channels, and they can get to feel like they know you a little bit, or certainly get a feel as to whether or not, you're people like us, or, you're their kind of person. Yeah. What else have I got here to share with you? It's also extremely shareable, right? We all know how social media works, and I'm not talking about viral videos. Obviously, they are easy to share, and funny videos are also easy to share. But, how to do things or how things work type videos, they're great to share, especially some of the sort of more obscure parts of industry, if you like, where you didn't know how they did that. Sharing that online is easily shareable then in terms of content. And the more you share things, the more you're building up the gravitas of your products. Yeah, I think, we've covered off the majority of it. I've got a couple of caveats for you. Please be aware of music and copyright. When you're creating your video, let's say you shoot it in a public place and there's music in the background, and perhaps you're giving a commentary. Perhaps you haven't thought about the music playing in the background, but there may be copyright issues to contend with from that. So please just be aware of that. I know it happens a lot in the gym where, you know, you're doing your gym thing and you're filming your gym stuff and there's music in the background. You go to put it on Instagram and they're like, no, there's a copyright infringement here. Or you load it to YouTube, there's a copyright infringement. So please be aware of that. There are lots of free copyright music out there, and you can pay for it and all that sort of jazz. So just think about that in terms of the production. This is not about like how to make a good video, but I would just say that, yeah, you know, think about putting a little sort of music bed or something ambient in the background if you haven't got a subject matter that you're talking about. It just adds a little bit of ambience. Right, so if you've got your pens, I'm now going to do a little bit of a summary. What's happening in the chat? Chair, you're getting better and better at this. Oh, thank you, Chair. That's extremely kind of you. Anyone else got any questions before I wrap up? Please let me know. I'm just going to do my little summary and then I've got some time for a little bit of Q&A. So here are my tips for video content. Film long form content. So think about a subject, sit down, talk about it in detail. But when you're sort of doing your planning, and we've done how to sort of how to do your presentation skills, when you're planning what it is you're going to talk about, make sure that you break it down into sections and make sure that you speak and leave pauses in a way that it allows you to cut. And again, like I'm going to say, have I said? I'll say this. I was going to say something else. There's one of my other tips. I'm not going to sort of steal a tip, but film long form content that allows you to chunk it down into bite-sized bits that allows you to repurpose it for social media, website content, blogs, vlogs, testimonials, case studies, and all of the above. Right? You can repurpose it. All right. I mean, look at this today, right? So I do a live webinar once a week. Okay, I do it once a week. So every month I have 4 or 5 new bits of content to play with and edit and post to my website. You know, the one thing about SEO is that Google likes to know that you're updating your website on a regular basis. And by me putting half an hour in my diary every single week, I am guaranteed every month to have at least 4 new bits of content to load onto my website. If I was pushing my social media, I'd have more content for that. So make your life easy by shooting long form footage. Use video to establish your authority. I keep finding myself saying this quite a lot, but use it as a tool to get your message out there, to make you known as being the expertise in your field. I can't underestimate how important that is. And, you know, don't expect that the first video or the first bit of content that you put out, you're going to get a million phone calls. Just keep putting the footage out there. Keep sharing what you know, and believe me, they will come. And here's the last one. Start. Just do it. The amount of conversations that I have with people that are using these like little micro excuses, like, oh, well, I haven't got my lighting quite right, and oh, I'm waiting to get my new camera, and oh, I just haven't got the background right. Oh, I need to have a shave. Oh, I need to lose weight. Oh, I haven't had my hair done. Oh, I don't know what to wear. Get out of your way. Stop making excuses, because actually people don't really care that much. All right. You're much better off getting on with it, getting the practice done. If you really hate the video that you put up there, you can take it down. But I tell you, if you don't record the video, then you're not going to have any footage, and no one is going to see you, and no one's going to understand a little bit more about your products and services. If you don't take video seriously and add it into your marketing mix, you are missing out on a massive chunk of business and retention and dwell time. All these things add to the success rate of your website. So go away today, have a look at your website, and say to yourself, right, well, if 80% of information online is consumed via video, is my website containing 80% video? Now, my website isn't containing 80% video. I'm just about to update my website, and believe me, there's a lot of video in it. All right, because I've taken this on board and I'm upping the amount of video content that you can see, and hopefully that will help my website and its visibility. So things like, LinkedIn Live, it's a really easy way. I think LinkedIn are going to be updating how they integrate the live into their platform, but just get on and do it. Just do it, just do it, just do it. Get out there. You'll be absolutely surprised at how easy it is once you get into the flow of things. And if you make a mistake, just carry on. Nobody cares. I think it's the old saying, we all think everybody's looking at us when in fact they're only interested in themselves. All right. Oh, we got some questions that have come in. Yeah, don't forget to put your subtitles. I think I called them captions. Sorry, Danny. Subtitles. Get the subtitles on there for people that are watching without sound, or for people that are hard of hearing. Question: is it better to be serious or low, or a little humor in? Allow a little humor. Sorry, yeah, I did. Allow a little humor into your videos. Right, Danny. Be you. Okay. Be the most authentic you as you can be, and those that like you and warm to you will gravitate towards you. Don't try and be something that you're not. If it feels right to be a little bit lighthearted, then please do. I would always refer this back to, say, a brand's values. All right. This does really sit at the heart. I know I sort of bang on about it quite a bit, but if you've identified your brand values, and one of your values is fun, or like mine, having a giggle, then absolutely, why make it all stiff and corporate if that's not who you are? Because if you come across all serious and professional, and someone thinks, oh, I like this Danny, he's all serious and professional, and then they engage with you and find out that actually you're relaxed, professional, but laid back and funny, right? They'll be like, who is this guy? That's not what I signed up for. So that's my answer, Danny. Be yourself. And that goes for anybody else out there. I hope that helps. Right. So a little recap. Long form video, shoot long form video, cut it down. Establish your authority. Explain to everybody what you're an expert in. And don't procrastinate. Just do it. Start creating video content, even if that's for yourself, doing what I do here, or filming products and service video about your company. Remember those stats. Nearly everybody is consuming video online at the moment, so get involved.